That was perhaps the most glowing introduction I've ever experienced. And I want to remind Paul, I'm not giving him a grade tonight. And at his retirement party, yeah, I went there, I got a free beer. So anyway, thank you, Paul. Here we go. We conductors do tend to babble after conducting pieces, and I wasn't as smart as Paul about getting some of our students to make some comments, so the task falls to me. That opening piece was Fanfare for the Third Planet, which of course is the planet on which we live. And it's a wonderful piece, great way, I think, to start a concert. The next piece that we will be playing is on a hymn song of Philip Bliss. And I want to tell you a little bit about that piece as some background. Philip Bliss wrote it, and it was based on a poem by Horatio G. Spafford, a Chicago Presbyterian layman and successful businessman who planned the European trip for his family in 1873. In November of that year, due to unexpected last-minute business developments, he had to remain in Chicago. But he sent his wife and his 4 young daughters on ahead as scheduled aboard the SS Ville de Havre. He expected to follow in a few days. On November 22nd, the ship was struck by the Loch Erin, an English vessel, and sank in 12 minutes. Several days later, the survivors were finally landed at Cardiff, Wales, and Mrs. Spafford cabled her husband, saved but alone, close quote. They lost their 4 daughters. Shortly afterwards, Spafford left by ship to join his bereaved wife. It is speculated that on the sea near the area where it was thought his 4 daughters had drowned, Spafford penned this text with words so significantly striving his own personal grief, quote, "When sorrows like sea billows roll," close quote. It is noteworthy, however, that Spafford does not dwell on this theme of life's sorrows and trials, but focuses attention on the 3rd stanza of the redemptive work of Christ. Humanly speaking, it is amazing that one could experience such personal tragedy and sorrow as did Horatio Spafford, and still be able to say with such convincing clarity, quote, "It is well with my soul," close quote. So the piece is based on a tragic event, the poem and the piece of music. However, it is triumphant because he knew that his daughters were actually in a much better place. So this is not meant to be sad, but meant to help us realize that music gets us through many of our life's crises, and it helped in this case also by writing a poem, and subsequently Philip Bliss set that poem to a wonderful hymn. So we hope you enjoy on a hymn song of Philip Bliss.